It's time for local stories from across the East. Local food. Local fashion. Local businesses. This is your home for local. This is the East's Daily Download on Eastern North Carolina CW.
Hello and welcome to the East Daily Download. My name is Mark. I'll be your tour guide on this adventure across the East. Now today we are coming to you from Studio E at Eastern North Carolina CW Studios. It's behind the purple door. We've been out on the road a lot lately, so we thought we'd do a little reset, get back inside the building, take a little breather, if you will. So here we are. Hope your day's off to a great start. And you know one way that your day can be off to an even better start? How about you get us on Facebook and Instagram. We're on social media. Use the East Daily Download hashtag. We'd love for you to follow us, to like us, to send us pictures, videos. What's your hobby? Send us pet photos. Q&A with AQ that we do on Wednesdays. Send us questions for Angie. That would be awesome. Okay, now we have a huge show in store for you today. You say, what's new? You always have a huge show. We do always have a huge show in store for you, but today's no exception. It's just special because, well, I don't know why, but it is. So just follow along with me here. So check this story out. We'll be back in just a little bit. And don't forget Facebook and Instagram, East Daily Download hashtag. We'll see you in a little bit here.
Now downloading People and Places.
Along the shore of Lake Phelps in Washington County sits a piece of American history. Somerset Place is the site of a former 19th century antebellum plantation.
The initial crops here were rice, corn, wheat, and of course lumber.
Slaves did much of the work here.
It was the second largest slave-holding plantation in the state of North Carolina.
Now, Somerset Place State Historic Site aims to tell the story of all the people who played a role on this plantation.
We focus on the social history of the plantation days. We interpret the lives of the people who lived, labored, and died here.
Somerset Place dates back to 1785. Josiah Collins, a native of Somerset, England, owned the property then. By the mid-19th century, more than 50 buildings made up the plantation. 7 of the plantation's original structures still stand today. The crown jewel, the Collins home, built in the 1830s.
But Josiah III inherited the property in 1829, and he wanted to live here at Somerset, so he had the Collins home built. It's a Greek Revival style architectural home. It's 6,809 square feet. The Collins family lived in more space than 188 members of the former enslaved community. So we use it as a tool to compare and to contrast of how people live on various economic levels.
At one time, more than 25 slave houses could be found here. Today, several reconstructed slave homes are on the site.
It's important to tell their story as well.
That includes the home of slave Suki Davis, who spent most of her life at Somerset Place. Her life story and that of many of her descendants are highlighted here.
Yes, it's very important that we interpret the lives and remember the people who labored here at Somerset Place and the enslaved community, because it's not only African history or African American history or Black history, it's American history. So we like to tell the whole story of all the people who live here.
Visitors to Somerset Place can roam the grounds on their own or take part in a 90-minute guided tour. It's a chance to walk along one of North Carolina's largest and most beautiful lakes and to get a glimpse of what life was like during one of America's most infamous periods.
There was once an old motto that said that if you remember people's names and you call their names, they always live. So we like to remember the people who labored and lived and died here at Somerset Place.
Now downloading Meltivational Monday.
Look at each other.
I feel like I was never enough.
I'm never going to feel whole.
I'm going to tell you why. Shut up.
5 days a week, Mel Robbins is taking control,
You said you wanted a light bulb moment, and I'm going to give it to you.
taking charge,
This has got to stop.
and taking things head on.
I'm a princess. I should be treated as royalty.
I don't think there's any princesses in America.
The Mel Robbins Show, weekdays at 1 on Eastern North Carolina CW.
Oh, that was good. I remember that. Oh, hey, welcome back to the East Daily Download. I am currently watching an episode of the East Daily Download on the mobile app, the WNCT mobile app, which is available at the Google Play and the App Store for free. Search WNCT, you can find it, you can download it, and on the go wherever you are in Eastern North Carolina or anywhere in the world, really, you can watch the East Daily Download. Now, I've got an episode up from a couple weeks ago here. You know what? Tell you what, I'm just going to pause that and I'll come back to that in a little bit. Let's talk. You know what we've got coming up for you? We got a really good story. How good? Well, you're about to find out because here it is. We'll see you in a little bit on the East Daily Download.
And he says many of them were frightened beyond speech.
Joanne Woodson, the widow of Corporal Waverly Woodson Jr., reads the words of her late husband's personal eyewitness account of D-Day.
Dawn broke as our ship approached the battleships.
Corporal Woodson landed on Omaha Beach on June 6, 1944. As a Black Army medic, he was wounded himself when a blast destroyed his boat.
This D-Day, Army prejudices took a back seat as far as the soldiers helping one another was concerned.
Corporal Woodson set up a medical aid station, and for 30 hours he removed bullets, cleaned wounds, and saved lives. Corporal Woodson never received the Medal of Honor for his heroic actions, despite the recommendations of his commanding officers. And then in 1973, his military records were destroyed by a fire in St. Louis. Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen says that shouldn't matter.
Given the contemporaneous records of his heroism that were talked about in multiple newspapers at the time.
Van Hollen and the Congressional Black Caucus wrote a letter to Acting Secretary of the Army requesting a formal review to posthumously award the Medal of Honor.
This nation really needs to honor him in this way.
Despite no movement yet on the medal, Van Hollen and Woodson's widow hold on to hope that Woodson and other African Americans' heroism during World War II will one day be properly recognized. In Washington, Morgan Wright.
It's ingrained in me.
Of course I know what the themes are.
Entertainment Tonight, that's what people want.
It's hard to think of Entertainment Tonight without... Oh, I know it!
I mean, come on, since I was a little kid.
This is Entertainment Tonight. This is the Bible of show business.
When it comes to treating a stroke, time is brain.
As time goes on and you're not getting oxygen in the brain, that's brain damage. So the sooner you address it, the sooner you treat the issue, the better the outcome.
Dr. Maureen Dupre, lead hospitalist at Vidant Edgecombe Hospital in Tarboro, knows that all too well.
All the risk factors for stroke are high here: diabetes, hypertension, obesity, smoking.
It's the same for communities across Eastern North Carolina, which is why by the end of 2020, all Vidant community hospitals will be certified as stroke centers.
Patients can receive the same care at Bertie that they receive at Beaufort or at Chowan. And that's the really cool thing about it, is just that no matter where you go in Eastern North Carolina, you can still receive that good, high-quality stroke care.
Knowing what to look for is just as important. Be Fast is an easy way to remember the signs of a stroke: balance, eyes or sudden trouble seeing, face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty, and time to call 911.
The quicker the patients can be treated, the better their functional outcomes are.
Which is another reason Vidant Edgecombe is leading the charge among Vidant community hospitals for keeping higher acuity patients close to home.
We've put this whole program into place where we can keep the patients here, the appropriate ones, and take care of them here.
Which matters greatly in a small community to patients as well as those providing the care.
I feel like I make a bigger difference here.
Erica Mizell, Vidant Health News for 9 on Your Side.
So whose show is this anyway?
Y'all feeling all the feels? We beat the bullies. Can I be a part of your family? Yes! Do you like chocolate?
Yeah, I mean, like takes care of your soul.
And your butt if you want to grow?
Stop shoveling snow and watch Kelly Clarkson.
After your favorite CBS shows, watch your local 9 on your side news at 11 to wrap up your day and to prepare for tomorrow with your local news, weather, education, city development, and more from across the East. Every day, WNCT 9 is on your side.
Hey, welcome back to the East Daily Download. You know what I was just thinking about? I was just thinking how I love going to WNCT.com. Not only does it have all of my local news from Eastern North Carolina and First Alert weather forecast, Jerry Jackson, Alex Wasalenko, David Sawyer do a great job of keeping everybody up to date on all the great weather information. But there's one other really cool feature. Well, there's a lot of other cool features, but one I'm specifically thinking about. There is a tab when you go to WNCT.com. It's called the Download tab. If you click on that, it brings you access to all of the East Daily Download episodes. Yep, they're all there. You can watch all of them. So you could start with the first episode we had in August and work your way up to now. So you could do like a whole binge marathon. Ooh, a marathon of the East Daily Download. I think we all like that idea. Okay, you know what else I like? I like to share this next story with you. Check this out. I'll see you on the other side in the next segment, so enjoy this. We'll see say a couple minutes. We'll see you, okay? Bye-bye.
A legendary video game hero races onto screens in Sonic the Hedgehog, and his only roadblock is Jim Carrey, who's out to steal his powers of speed.
Why are you hiding out in my garage?
They're coming for me! If they steal my power, they could conquer the universe. You have to help me.
When Sonic arrives from another dimension, he teams up with James Marsden to take on the evil Dr. Robotnik, played by Jim Carrey, who eagerly adopted his character's signature mustache.
Stuck on there with some epoxy. And many whales died to make that. Or no, it's not whales, it's horses, isn't it? It is the manifestation of evil. You know, once it's curled up and waxed on the ends, it says, I just tied a girl to a railroad track.
Ben Schwartz is the voice of Sonic and was inspired by his co-star during his recording sessions.
I did 2 Jim Carrey impressions in it. One is there's a fish on my head, and I say it in the same way that he goes, our pets' heads are falling off, from Dumb and Dumber.
Our pets' heads are falling off! I'm wet. I'm cold. There's a fish on my head.
All right, get in the truck.
Really? You're gonna help me?
James Marsden had a connection to Carrey before they even worked together on Sonic.
I grew up emulating him. I would go to school and doing impressions of his impressions. But it's like I'm opposite him now on a soundstage. And like at the end of the day, it was like watching him having a great time doing his thing again was to me like worth the price of admission. And it was like such a treat for me as a fan of his to be working with him.
Oh, this one is cute. Let's keep him. Ah! You've got car insurance, right?
Ah! For Entertainment Tonight, I'm Kevin Frazier.
After your favorite CBS shows, watch your local 9 on your side news at 11 to wrap up your day and to prepare for tomorrow with your local news, weather, education, city development, and more from across the East. Every day, WNCT 9 is on your side.
You're not only going to learn things that you can put to use in your life immediately to change for the better, you're going to have a heck of a lot of fun hanging out with me. What I want you to know about me is that I really care about you. As I've met tens of thousands of people face to face, I've noticed that we all struggle with the same things. I'll do absolutely anything to get somebody to push through their fear.
Mel Robbins has changed my life in so many ways.
That's the thing that is exciting about me. I want to empower people to change the way that they see their future and what's possible for them. This is a show about you seeing what you want for yourself and for your life, and you getting the tools in an entertaining way that you need to make the little changes that add up to massive change.
Now downloading Medical Minute.
Some say cancer is a team sport.
It affects the family, it affects everybody, friends, relatives, neighbors, and of course a whole team of clinical people who are involved in your care.
Every year, the team at Carolina East Health Systems sees over 700 new cases from Craven, Pamlico, and Jones counties.
Cancer doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care if you're tall, short, rich or poor. You know, it's hard to find a family, unfortunately, that hasn't been affected by cancer.
The SECU Comprehensive Cancer Center features the essential parts of treatment, like examination rooms and an area for infusion therapy. It also has additional services like a small boutique and nutrition classes designed with patients and their families in mind.
The first thing we did was we put together a group of cancer patients and we sat with them and we said, tell us about it. Tell us what it was like going through your treatment, what you wish had been available, what people did that was a mistake.
The facility is also partnering with the UNC Cancer Center. Workers here don't just plan to wage the cancer fight with their patients. They plan to use research to open another front in the battle against the disease.
We hope there's one day going to be a cure, and we'll turn this into a big tennis court or something. But we want to be very involved in that, and we want to help. We want to help find that cure.
The Bureau of Justice Statistics reports that in the U.S. we have about 700,000 full-time sworn police officers. That's about 23,000 fewer than in the 1990s, all while the population has grown by millions. This begs the question, why are we losing officers? Local recruiters believe the change started in 2014 when a police officer in Ferguson, Missouri shot an unarmed black man, leading to scrutiny of their profession.
Not to get specific, some of the high-profile cases where officers were questioned about how they perform acts in the line of duty is probably why we're viewed negatively.
Now local departments are doing everything they can to turn around the drop in applicants. They say fewer officers means increased risk for citizens. Being community-centered, polite, and professional are just the tip of the iceberg. They're trying to get people interested through creative recruitment, state-of-the-art equipment, and high-quality training. I have more from local departments about the nationwide crisis in my full story. You can find it on WNCT.com's online originals page. In the digital studio, Katie Augustine, 9 on your side.
The long forecast, the 7-8 day forecast, that's what I like to see. That lets me know ahead of time what the weather's going to be like. Jerry does a good job. He lets you know when something is finna transpire. I have the app on my phone and the radar on my phone so I can keep up with that. It helps me know when a storm is coming up and what the weather's going to be like and what's bad. One moment I really appreciated was when Hurricane Florence was about and the way Jerry really let you know what was going to happen. That was one moment that made my decision for us to leave town at that time. Because in Craven County, we got hit bad. And Jerry really emphasized how strong the storm surge was going to be, how much wind we was going to have, how much damage was expected. So that gave us the determination to leave town. So that was one of the great moments, I believe, was with Jerry's forecast of Hurricane Florence. I just want to say y'all continue to do what you're doing.
Now downloading Southern Stars.
Hey, we're in Roper to meet this week's Southern Star. Miss Rosalind, we are here today to honor you as a Southern Star for making our community a brighter place.
Well, she has started a scholarship fund for the past 9 years, and she has awarded over $25,000 for young men striving to go to college. She does things in her church. She gives back to the community. She gives Christmas toys for kids every year. She's just a pillar of our community.
Without a doubt, she is certainly a Southern Star. As a matter of fact, these beautiful decorations here today are before the emergency response banquet that's held once a year. And this kind lady volunteered to do this out of the kindness of her heart.
She spends more time at the church, and sometimes I wonder how in the world she does it.
Yes, sir.
She's up at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning doing things for people in the church or helping me or doing something that's going to motivate the children in the church. So she's constantly busy.
Miss Bell, this is April with our community partner, Southern Bank.
Good morning. I want to say that Southern Bank believes in community, and it is an honor to be here today to recognize Miss Bell for the contributions that she makes to Washington County. Thank you.
And if you know a Southern Star in your community, make your nomination. Go to WNCT.com/stars.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the East Daily Download. As always, we are thankful and appreciative for you joining us. We know you have a lot of options for your TV, and we just want to say thank you because you choose us, and we are very grateful for that. I'm going to put my morning beverage down right here with the East Daily Download logo facing outward towards the camera so you can see it subliminally. You're thinking East Daily Download, East Daily Download. It's everywhere. Okay, so we'll be back with an all-new episode. We'll probably do that tomorrow, I think. That sounds like a thing we could do. And until then, you have yourself a great day. As always, we appreciate you. And don't forget WNCT.com under the download tab, as well as Facebook and Instagram, East Daily Download hashtag, and the WNCT mobile app where you can watch the show on the go. And speaking of on the go, I'm going to be on the go right now, and I will see you back here on the next edition of the East Daily Download. Bye-bye.
When we hit the road for the next edition of the East Daily Download, we take a look at plans for parking in Uptown Greenville. We follow up on the Oscars. We've got hidden history, and we have a special edition of Down Eats. We'll see you on the next edition of the East Daily Download on Eastern North Carolina CW.